The brave journey of Christopher Columbus. A long time ago, over 500 years back, the world was very different. People did not know about many lands. There were no airplanes or cars. Ships were the only way to travel long distances across the sea. In the country of Italy, in a city called Genoa, a boy named Christopher Columbus was born in the year 1451. His family was not rich. His father made cloth for a living. But young Columbus had big dreams. He always wanted to travel. He loved to read books and maps about the sea and faraway lands. As Columbus grew older, he learned to sail ships. He worked on many trading ships and traveled to different parts of Europe and Africa. He listened to stories from sailors and merchants. These stories talked about golden lands and spices in a place called India and China. People in Europe wanted to find a faster way to go there. But the only known route was long and dangerous. Columbus had an idea. He believed that the world was round, not flat like many people thought. He believed that if he sailed west across the Atlantic Ocean, he could reach Asia faster. But there was one problem. He needed money and ships to try this journey. He went to many kings and queens in Europe to ask for help. Most of them laughed at him. They thought he was crazy. Some said he would fall off the edge of the world. Finally, in Spain, Columbus met Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. He told them about his plan. First they were not sure, but later they agreed to help him. They gave him 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, and a small crew of brave men. On August 3, 1492, Columbus and his crew left Spain. The journey was hard. The ocean was big and scary. Days turned into weeks. The sailors began to lose hope. Some wanted to go back. But Columbus kept saying, "Land is near. Don't give up." After over 2 months at sea, something amazing happened. On October 12, 1492, a sailor on the Pinta shouted, "Land! Land!" Everyone rushed to see. They had found a new land. Columbus thought he had reached India. So he called the people living there Indians. But he was wrong. He had reached an island in the Caribbean near America. Columbus and his men met the native people who lived there. These people were friendly and shared food and gifts. Columbus explored the islands and wrote about the land, the people, and the gold he saw. After a few months, Columbus returned to Spain with good news. The king and queen were very happy. They gave him more ships and money to go back. Columbus made 4 trips across the Atlantic Ocean in total. He explored many islands, including places that are today called Haiti, Cuba, and the Bahamas. But things were not always good. In his later trips, Columbus faced problems. His ships were damaged. His crew argued and fought. He also made mistakes in dealing with the native people. Many of them were hurt, forced to work, or treated badly. This caused pain and sadness for the people who lived there before Columbus came. In the end, Columbus did not become rich. He was even arrested once and sent back to Spain in chains. He died in 1506, still thinking he had found a way to Asia. He never knew he had discovered lands that would one day become North and South America. Even though he was not the first person to reach the Americas, native people had lived there for thousands of years. His journey changed the world forever. His voyages started a time of great exploration. More people from Europe came to the new lands. The world map began to grow. People, goods, and ideas moved between the Old World and the New World. Today, many people remember Columbus as a brave explorer who followed his dreams. But others also remember the pain his journeys caused for native people. His story is both amazing and complex. Christopher Columbus. The other side of the story. After his first successful voyage to the New World in 1492, Christopher Columbus returned to Spain as a hero. People celebrated him. The king and queen were proud. They believed Columbus had found a new way to India and were excited about the gold and treasures he described. Because of this, Columbus was given more ships and even more men for a second voyage. This time he would not only explore but also build settlements. On September 24, 1493, Columbus left Spain again. this time with 17 ships and over 1,000 men. The second voyage. A new plan. Columbus wanted to create colonies and bring back more gold and spices. But things did not go as planned. When Columbus returned to the island of Hispaniola, now shared by Haiti and the Dominican Republic, he was shocked. The small fort he had built during his first trip was destroyed. Many of the men he had left behind were killed by the native people. Columbus was angry and confused. He started building a new town called La Isabela, but it was hard to survive. The men were not used to the hot weather and tropical diseases. They did not find much gold, and food was short. Many became sick or died. Trouble with the natives. First, the native people were friendly. But now, many of them were scared and angry. Columbus and his men had taken their food, captured some of their people, and forced others to work. To control them, Columbus used force. He ordered his men to fight, punish, and even kill the people who resisted. He also sent many natives back to Spain as slaves. This was the beginning of a dark time. Some of Columbus's own men began to speak against him. They said he was too cruel and did not keep promises. They also did not find the riches they had hoped for. Columbus started to lose control over his men, and the native people hated him. The third voyage. More challenges. In 1498, Columbus made his third voyage. This time he discovered the mainland of South America. He reached the coast of Venezuela and realized that it was not an island. Columbus started to believe he had found a new continent. But by now, things were very bad back in Hispaniola. The people in the colony were starving, and many were unhappy with Columbus's leadership. Rumors reached Spain that Columbus was treating people badly and not managing things well. So, the king and queen sent a man named Francisco de Bobadilla to check what was happening. When Bobadilla arrived, he arrested Columbus and his two brothers. They were sent back to Spain in chains. It was a sad moment for Columbus. He had dreamed of being a great explorer and ruler of new lands, but now he was seen as a failure by many. The fourth voyage. One last chance. Even though Columbus was in trouble, Queen Isabella still allowed him to go on one final voyage in 1502. Columbus hoped to find a passage to Asia. This time, he explored the coasts of Central America, including Honduras, Nicaragua, and Panama. He faced many storms, attacks from native tribes, and even a shipwreck. He and his men were stranded on the island of Jamaica for over a year, waiting to be rescued. Columbus never found the way to Asia. He never found the mountains of gold he had dreamed of. His final voyage ended in pain and disappointment. In 1506, Columbus died in Spain. He was 55 years old. At the time of his death, many had forgotten him. He still believed he had found the way to the Indies. He never knew that his journey had opened the way to two new continents. The impact of Columbus's voyages. Christopher Columbus's voyages changed the world forever. They began the age of European exploration and colonization. After him, many other explorers came to the Americas from Spain, Portugal, England, and France. These explorations brought new foods, animals, and ideas to Europe and the Americas. But they also brought disease, war, and slavery to the native people. Millions of natives died because of European weapons, sickness, and cruel treatment. Many people today see Columbus as a brave explorer who followed his dreams and discovered new lands. But others remember the pain, suffering, and destruction his journeys caused.